No, let's see what Chris has to say.
Nope.
Hey, oh, he's in the back. He's in the back.
Dr. Nimmo, Dr. Professor has joined the back.
Are you doing the one that did a Facebook already? Jody?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you, Jamie.
Robbie sounds like his mic in his sock drawer.
You what?
You sound like your mic's in your sock drawer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do that whenever we'll play the other stuff.
It might. It could.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bro Time. I'm Robert.
I'm James.
And I'm the other guy, Jody.
Hello, other guy, Jody.
We got a great show for you today. We're having a little technical difficulties with Chris getting in. And so we'll be trying to get him in while we kind of get this thing started. Welcome to everybody who's out there, and to our second live stream, and went a little bit better this time. Still some technical issues we got to work out, but we're here. We're ready. While we kind of wait on Chris, let's talk about some listener questions that we had, kind of that I received over the past couple weeks. We didn't get into it last week because we had kind of a late start. First of all, Jody, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I am drinking Brothers Bond. It is a recent one that I found that's pretty solid. It is a straight bourbon whiskey, hand-selected batch. This one is out of Arkansas.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Well, how'd you rate it? Like 1 to 10, like, how'd you rate it?
For $40 bottle of whiskey, I would definitely say it's a 9.
Okay.
Putting it up against some of the other ones, it doesn't hold a flame, but for a $40 bottle of whiskey, absolutely a go-to.
Gotcha.
Better than Military Special?
Nope, I did not get this one at a Military Special. So, yes, it would be better than a Military Special.
So, Jody, if you're talking about like mainstream bourbons, whiskeys, what would you probably put it closest to on the mainstream side?
I would rank this probably up there with like a single barrel, maybe select Jack. It's a pretty solid, easy drink. Don't need to mix it. If for some of y'all that mix sometimes don't. I'm the type that'll mix sometimes I don't. But usually it's the $40 bottles that I would mix. In this case, I have no reason to mix this one.
That's good.
That's good stuff. Jay, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking tea, which I made from Zen Pouches and Red Man Chew. And also I also threw some Sudafed in there to see how that goes. So no, it's just regular tea.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, welcome, Chris. Welcome, Chris. Hey, Jamie, what kind of tea do you prefer?
This is just old Lipton black tea.
Gotcha. Lots of sugar, no sugar, somewhere between.
No sugar. No, this is like I think it's natural non-sugar sweetener. So.
Gotcha. Chris, you drink anything tonight? I know you had a ball game tonight.
No, just some water.
Gotcha. What kind of cup?
Top Gun Maverick cup.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That movie is like 2 years old. You really have kept a movie theater cup for that long?
Yeah, the special edition. I got Jurassic Park as well.
I am not allowed to chime in. I still have a movie theater cut from like 1999, 2000.
Was that the Menace?
Star Wars Episode 1 with the Georgia stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was that from? Taco Bell or KFC or?
I don't remember where we got it from.
I remember
It
that
is
cup.
built in my, like, hey, this is a keepsake. I'm not getting rid of this one. I'm not getting any value from Jar Jar.
Yeah, when I took over your room after you left, those stared at me. Wow, it was very
Haunting you.
creepy. Yeah. Are they in storage or are they handy? Because I'm pretty sure somebody would want to see those. And also, Jar Jar was the worst character in Star
I
Wars.
do not have them in Florida with me. They're actually in Texas.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I know where Robbie can get a key and go pick it up for me.
Ooh.
Are they all the way down in Copperas, or are they up closer to me?
No, we left our storage in Waco, so it's kind of easy for everyone to. If we needed to send somebody down to storage for something, it's
Yeah.
easier for everyone to get to.
Hey man, a 3-hour drive for a Jar Jar Binks cup.
Might be worth it. Might be worth it. Hit up some Magnolia stuff along there. Well, so tonight I'm not doing whiskey tonight. I am doing. I have a Moscow Mule kit that I got for Christmas that I thought I'd try out. This thing has been, I don't know what you call it, like fermenting for 3 weeks. It's a little strong. Mixed with some Western Sun ginger beer. And I have I actually have a pineapple ice cube in it. So kind of a little bit of a Caribbean vibe to go with the shirt. So thanks for getting dressed up for us, Chris. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. I didn't know there was we're supposed to.
Yeah, I guess-
I put it out there that anyone that wanted to, you're welcome to, because it kind of fits the theme of the night. But
Dr.
all right,
Chris
man.
is too busy,
All right.
taking care of his patients to check our chat. So, thanks, Dr. Chris, for
Hey, I
saving
get a
lives.
shirt. Wait.
You saved some lives today, Dr. Chris?
no, actually,
I did.
I think we like it better this way right now, Chris. This is perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Guns out.
Because, see, here's the thing. If we ever do a sleeveless podcast, there's no doubt that if you don't get the message, you're still going to be in.
Okay, so one of the listener questions we got was, if we were to drink together, who'd be the first one that would be drunk and out of commission, and who would be the last one? So the first part of that question is the easiest part of that question.
Oh.
So
Jamie. It was definitely Jamie. Yeah.
What?
I'd be the first one.
Jamie would be the first one.
I
Chris?
mean,
I have multiple first-hand accounts of you passing out mid-conversation.
So I think we can all agree that Chris would
Yeah.
be the first one to go down.
I think the first time I met felt like I passed out, right? No.
I wouldn't be the last, but I wouldn't be the first. I like to be somewhere in the middle.
I
Because if I'm the
like that. I
last-
like that middle ground.
Yeah, if I'm the last, I'll stay up forever. So, probably,
Yeah,
probably.
For me, it depends on the timeline we're talking about here. If we're talking till midnight, I'm all over that. I can probably be the last one there. But once it strikes 12:01, I'm looking for a reason to go to bed.
But it also depends on what we're doing. If all three of us are together, I mean, how many times have like our family been together, or all of us been hanging out, and it's like, holy shit, it's already 4:00 in the morning.
No, that happened. That happened the last time we were at Chris's house, Chris and Jeannie together.
Yep.
And it's like, it was every night. and we'd play a game. We'd play the werewolf game, or we'd play Settlers of Catan, and just be up forever.
And then y'all wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day.
And make breakfast, man.
Yep. A solid breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, that's the one thing that was
With
great. And I know,
mimosas.
Jody, you didn't get to go to the Arizona house. But if you wanted to sleep in, as long as you didn't have children waking you up, like your own children, you could, because you couldn't hear anybody in that house. Like,
It was great.
the living room could be just a mad zone for kids, and you can be in your room and you couldn't hear nothing. It was greatest house we've rented up until this point. Which, I mean, I guess it was kind of a no hands down. It was an 8,000 square foot house, but with a beauty salon. But
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question I have from the listeners is if, and I should have wrote this down. I'm going primarily off memory. If we were to meet somebody famous, who would we want to meet? And I'll start with you, Jamie.
I don't know. A lot of the famous people are pedophiles, so I don't know.
So you're not saying Diddy, huh?
Definitely not saying Diddy. Oh, man. If I could meet somebody famous. Like, how famous?
You have to be alive?
We can do whatever we can do whatever we want. I mean, but let's just say dead or alive.
Nikola Tesla.
Nice.
Because I'd steal all of his info.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And get silenced by Thomas Edison.
Nope. No, are we talking about, like, going back in time? Because, I mean, I would definitely kill Thomas Edison and protect Nikola Tesla. That's going crazy.
Have you seen that movie, The Current Wars?
No.
It's 100% what it's about.
Yeah, I've seen a documentary on it, and it was like the first time I was introduced to Tesla, and I was like, I knew Thomas Edison was a little, you a-hole.
He was a shady little bastard.
He killed an elephant. He killed an elephant just to make Tesla look like the bad guy. So that's messed up, man. Elephants don't forget.
Hey, elephants will mess you up, dude. Those people that lady that died in Africa by an elephant. They don't forget. I bet you that lady was at a zoo one time and probably like teased an elephant with some peanuts or something. They don't mess around.
And then maybe, it's definitely Jesus as well. Might want to meet that dude.
Yeah,
That's
I'd say that's
important.
probably. I mean, yeah, I'd probably say that's without saying. But Chris, what do you got?
That's a hard one if they're dead and alive. Like, you obviously want to meet like Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan, assuming you're not going to die.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to meet Genghis Khan because he would kill you.
Or Alexander. He'd kill you too.
He would kill you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go meet those dudes. Because they'd be like, they would either kill you or brutally assault you.
Just pick their brain, like.
First of all, you don't speak the same language, buddy.
Oh. You Google Translate. There you go.
I guess we got time machines. We got Google Translate. So those two. That's what you're going with.
Yeah, just see how their daily lives are, how they manage the pressure of.
Well, I can tell you how Genghis Khan's daily life was. He fornicated and he killed. He fornicated and he killed. On rotation.
Sounds like a lot of people
It's true.
throughout history.
Jamie, you're muted, buddy.
I don't think it's that common.
Yeah.
Like right now.
No, not right now.
I mean, I don't know.
Unless you're Dahmer.
Well, Hillary Clinton might be a different story, but
That's funny. Jody, what about you?
One single person.
Yeah, I mean, or you can pick two like Chris.
If it was one single person, it would be George Washington, hands down.
Okay.
Because I would like to know what they were thinking when they were drafting all this stuff up. And for me, it's a moment. I would like to be there when they were drafting, like the Declaration of Independence and all of that. 100%.
I don't think George Washington was there when they were doing that. Was he there? I don't think he was
I
there.
don't think he was there.
He
wasn't
not
part of the
present,
Continental
no.
Congress because the Continental Congress.
So the
is
one guy
brought
you
him
want to
in.
meet isn't going to be at the place that you get sent to.
But see, here's the thing, though, is the mindset. If it's one single person that I have to meet, because every single one of those guys that were on that on the
board.
Declaration, they do not. You got to think their mindset is still very fluctuating. They all have their own goals when they wrote this.
Yeah.
To have the general of the initial general of the 13 original colonies, to have that his mindset and be able to kind of pick his brain on what he was experiencing, what he was going through, what it took for them to get to that point.
Saw a YouTube video today actually about that. Like it was the 13 colonies, but they were like essentially 13 countries that decided to be come together, and it was like 13 years after the Declaration of Independence, and it took them 2 years to draft the Declaration of Independence, and they said that 2 states didn't even sign it. I think it was Maryland and like one of the Carolinas didn't sign it, but they ended up signing it later. I only got through half the video, so I don't know how they picked the president.
Where's that video on? I'd like to watch it.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Okay, cool. So George Washington for Jody.
Yeah.
Me personally, there's quite a few people that I think would be really cool to meet. First thing that pops in my head's like Mickey Mantle or like Babe Ruth or some of those guys. Just for baseball. But if I'm going to like use it to for knowledge or something like that, I'd probably say like John Hancock or somebody like that from the original colonies. Or if I was just doing somebody fun, picking somebody fun, I would pick like Toby Keith or somebody like that. Have a good old time with Toby Keith. But I guess it just depends on what we're trying to accomplish here. Probably be nice to meet. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like it's the thing you're trying to accomplish is meet one person in history. I think was the question, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So there you go.
Or celebrity. It was celebrity or famous person.
Famous person.
Famous
Yeah.
person.
Okay. Yeah. What about alive? I guess we should probably answer the question maybe as they intended. So alive, yeah. Robbie, who?
With alive, it'd probably be Elon Musk.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I just, I want to know more about how his mind works. I'm finishing up one book, and I'm going to get into the Elon book, so I can kind of get a little bit of a taste of it. But I still have a feeling like, man, that guy's probably wild, and I bet like you'd learn something from him, you'd party with him, and you'd do something cool as hell. Like I bet you can do all that, and that's just called a weekend. So Elon Musk for me.
Yeah, Jody, what about you?
I had Elon Musk lined up for this one.
Any particular reason outside of what I said?
No. I would love to have his undivided attention just to hear the man talk and have a conversation with him back and forth, be able to not necessarily pick his brain because I know he could probably speak miles over my head. That's fine. I understand that. And I will absolutely admit that. But at the same time, I mean, I've got questions that I would love to ask the Dude.
Cool.
So if you could get him on here as a guest, guest on our show.
He owes me a favor, so I mean, I'll see what I can put together.
Chris?
So, they're not really, I guess, define famous. I mean, like, they have to be television famous.
Do we know who they are? If the four of us know who he is, then he's probably famous. Or
Can
them.
it be a person who runs an entity that we really don't know who they are?
That's fine. Who is it?
Okay, so it'd be Steven Schwartzman, Chairman and CEO of Blackstone Incorporated.
Okay. Why?
It's the large. It's
Because they own the world.
because they own the world, and if you own the world, you own the secrets. They're the
Are you sure you're
world's largest alternative asset manager with $1 trillion in
I thought you were talking about BlackRock.
No, Blackstone. They own so many companies, and when you have that kind of power, I'm pretty sure there's maybe bigger companies like that, but that CEO probably knows a lot of good secrets and a lot of good things that I would definitely sign an NDA to learn about.
Or they would just kill
Would
you.
you sign an NDA?
Or-
I'd sign an NDA.
I'd sign an NDA. All the secrets and the backroom stuff, yeah.
But here's the thing: is if you sign an NDA, you could actually take nothing away from that.
Well, for me personally, I would. Like if you're with Elon Musk, he's not going to let you get away with it without signing an NDA.
I think Elon Musk would just tell me tell me the stuff he wanted me to tell me, and not really worry about the stuff that's like on the horizon for Elon Musk. I think he's a type of guy that would definitely be able to have a conversation with you without having to sign an NDA.
I just want to know the secrets, man.
Secrets to what, dude?
Everything.
Mine would probably be alive. Would be Vladimir Putin.
Okay.
All right.
Love to hear that.
We're canceled.
And we're shut off. All right. Good show, everybody.
Okay. Well, just to give you kind of a heads up of what we've got in store today, we've got a piece on the Cocoas today. We've got Morgan Wallen gets arrested. We're going to talk a little bit about that. MLB power rankings. And if we get some time today, we're going to touch base on some EPA stuff. Now, we're only going to talk about a few of these things here on the live stream, and then the rest of it will be available on YouTube throughout the week. So, where should we get started, guys? What do you think the people want to hear?
I think we should probably. I'm interested to talk about this because it'll be some good banter, and I think it's a good story about the Cocoas. So
Let's start with the Cocoas. So, Jamie, lead us off.
Yep. So there's this group called the Virginia Cocoas, who they're a militia, and so there's this story that they're telling a kind of far out there news outlet. It's not like it's CNN or anything. It's a very small news outlet. But this guy named Russell Richardson Vane the Fourth, which what a name, goes by the nickname Duke, joined the group in 2022, claimed he worked for the CIA, but the group kept him around because they thought he might know some important stuff about what's going on in the world. Things got kind of weird. Duke started asking about making homemade explosives, or HMEs, And the group got suspicious when he talked about bringing a friend with a work visa to a training exercise. And then that friend, which this isn't really common knowledge, but if you're on a work visa, and I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to handle guns if you're on a work visa, or at least have them on your person. And I think that's what it was. Is he was going to have the guns with him, which I believe is illegal. I don't believe you can carry if you're on a visa. Then there was an armed rally with another militia where Duke was just pointing his rifle around, no muzzle awareness. And so they had to get onto him for that. And then I think the final straw was when Duke kept pushing the group to talk about explosives. After they asked him to stop, he even mentioned his cousin's farmhouse blowing up, which is, pretty sketchy. He also was talking about that he knew a Russian ambassador as well that was willing to help fund the group. I don't remember the amount.
50 grand.
$50K a month.
$50K a month. So they eventually kicked him out, thinking he was a government infiltrator, or worse, just stupid. They tried to touch base with him and kind of find out what was going on. Another militia leader even said Duke assured him he wasn't working for the cops or trying to get into trouble. Another weird thing is, he died. He had a memorial that they found online that he had died, but then they went and checked his Facebook, and he had just updated it with pictures. And then they called the place where the memorial was held, and they're like, "No, we haven't had a memorial here." So the whole thing was super weird. Jody, you might have some bits and pieces that I left out, but I think that's kind of the gist of the story.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gist. I mean, there's a lot of speculation that surrounds this. These groups are people that, for all intents and purposes, have good intentions. They have a purpose that they're trying to strive for. Most of them are 100% nonviolent. They are trained to be violent, but they don't want to be violent. None of them want to be violent. And then you got this dude that comes in that gives this persona that he wants to be violent. There was, I've got to be careful about the words we used since we're on YouTube, but he did approach the group about what they would do if there was an attempt at a politician. I don't think I want to throw that word out there.
No, don't.
That we're talking about. Because I'm sure we've got NSA and all those guys are listening to us right now as we hold this conversation to see where we go with this. However, the groups from outside looking in, they look like just a bunch of far right wingers, and definition of far right wing can vary depending on who you're talking to. I still have a definition of far right, but people that are a part of these groups may be seen as far right. So the point I'm getting at is you have one of these guys that comes in and starts making all these claims that completely can destroy a reputation on one of these groups.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I don't think they made the right call soon enough to kick this dude out of the group, to cut ties. It got to the point where they received classified information. Even though the classified or the documents that they received said unclassified, those are still classified documents. That means you cannot possess those without a specific authority. And that guy, whether or not he had that authority, yep. And it was kind of funny because the guy was like FOUO. I don't even know what that means. And I was like, for official use, official use only.
Only, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is nothing official. So you should not even be holding those, and you should not be showing those to a news outlet, because that is now making you in a bad situation.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that knows classifications and classified documents, that's the last thing you want to do is call the news in and be like, hey, I have these documents. See on this page right here where it talks about this? I'm like,
Yeah, this was 8 days ago that this thing came out, and I guarantee you they no longer have possession of those documents. I kind of want to back this thing up a little bit because I feel like, we've been immersed in this thing for the last couple days, watching, different videos, reading articles on these people. The Kakoas are like a spin-off group? Is that the best way to put it?
no, I wouldn't say that. So I would say they are I think they're self-identified as a militia prepper group.
Right, but where do they originate from?
I'm sure they were all looking at some of the other groups out there, and to be honest with you, by looking at them, they probably were refused by those groups, and they decided to create their own group, which is understandable because in some of those groups, they're super specific about the people that they allow in, especially in the public eye. And I can't say that I fault them for starting their own group, because I know that they're out there and they're trying to better themselves in their community and trying to build a network of people that think the same way.
And they're by prepper.
I mean, it seems like they just want to train and be ready for an emergency, not necessarily to take down the United States government, but to train for situations like Katrina, natural disasters like that. I think that's more or less what they're doing, and and this probably even ties into like the Kenosha riot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the ways that I took it, what they're prepping for, is they're prepping for the day that as like a third and fourth line of defense within our country, if in the case that the government gets overrun, the military gets overrun. We have a Red Dawn situation for you movie buffs. And so they would essentially just step up as that, that redneck militia type thing that we always talk about whenever, we ever got invaded by North Korea, China, Russia, any of those people, whatever, that these people would step up after the military got overrun, more or less. That's kind of where I figured. That's why they train. They also have a side gig, if you will, and they do like, I don't say protest, but lobbying for the Second Amendment rights. Not just for Second Amendment rights. As I was watching their
so they pay congressmen to push the Second Amendment. Is that what you mean by lobbying?
Well, they call it their lobby day, where they went down to the Virginia courthouse, or the whatever it is, where the house, like the state representatives are and stuff like that. And they showed up full force, full gear, had their weapons on them. They were asked to leave the grounds of the state building because they had weapons on them. But as they were kind of explaining what they were doing, they had people that were there with signs, protest signs, making fun of them. Like this one lady had a sign that said, "Welcome to the Small Penis Club." Like making fun of them. But they gave her a cookie. They hung out with her. They talked to her. They said, "Hey, look, we're not just here for our agenda. We're here to make sure everybody's voice gets heard. So if this is your voice, then we'll help you. We'll help make sure it gets heard."
So real quick, are we sympathizing for these groups? Is that what's happening?
What do you think? How do you feel?
I think that these are factions that are splintered from groups that are extremely racist, extremely nationalist. I'm
This is gonna be fun, Chris. I'm glad you said that.
Oh, yeah. we could try to justify it however we want.
I didn't see anything that said they were racist.
Yeah, I don't. Do you think
the neo-Nazis?
Well, hang on, dude. Hang on. Hang on. Let's cross one bridge at a time. You said.
Well, let me finish my rant.
Okay.
Yeah, let him finish his thought and we'll go back.
When you have a group that has an agenda, it's no longer like a fun, we're trying to preserve the rights of the government or Second Amendment. It turns into something different. And when you said that this is for they're prepping to be the third, fourth line of defense if something happens to America, after the military goes down, there is no more America. It's going to turn into something. It's going to turn into something akin to warlords, and these factions are going to be the warlords of the regions, like in Africa. They have the power, they have the guns, they have the training. So that's I'm like, no, these groups, like, it's not like a fun little group. It's not like a club or anything. These people have like literal agendas and ideas that sometimes are counter to the American values. They disguise them with American values, but overall, they're, like you just mentioned, them not. They have a rigorous membership. They make sure they vet the people that are going to come into their groups, but that's because they only want certain kinds of people in their group. Okay, my rant's over. I mean,
okay.
All have an opinion.
First things first. We are not Africa. We will never be Africa.
I'm not saying Africa. I'm saying that, or if we're going to the third, fourth line of defense and having to defend or have a militia, the militia is going to turn into something akin to
you're wrong on
the United States government, but regional.
So if we're at the third and fourth line of defense, I mean, it's gone. We're gone.
So is the Texas Guard considered a warlord type of event?
That's the state's military, whatever you know what I mean, like their National Guard. That's what you mean, right? National Guard.
No,
Not the
Texas
National Guard, the State Guard. They're two different. They're technically the third line of defense in Texas. So, and you said all those guys are just racist, right? Is that what you said?
I've never heard of the Texas Guard before. So.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Is it another faction, or is it sanctioned by the government?
No.
Is it paid for by the government?
The state government. It's sanctioned by the state government.
Yeah.
So when we say that Texas has its own military, that's what we're referring to. We're not talking about the National Guard. We're not talking about the United States military. The Texas has their own military.
And because of Virginia cannot...
But they're not a militia.
They are a militia. They're 100% a militia. But it's a sanctioned...
A militia is a private organization.
Yeah, they're not. They're state guard. They're not a militia. Robert.
A militia, by definition, is actually quite the opposite, Chris. It is not a private organization.
So I do want to touch base on the fact that you did bring up the most common misconception with these organizations is that they're racist groups. The funny thing is the reporter actually asked about this in the first video I watched, which was their lobbying video. They brought the Hispanic and the black guy up to cover the racism part of the group. They have black people, they have Asian people, they have Hispanic people in their group. How could they be a racist group unless they got Clayton Bixby as the...
What group is this?
In the group. It's the Kikoas. Kekoas.
I can kind of... Yeah, I can fill the gap in here, Robbie, is because what Chris is doing is broad brushing, once again, all of these militias into the same little corner that if they're out there wearing camo, carrying guns, they're racist.
Yep.
Because that's what MSNBC tells Chris to think.
We can do the same thing for the protest movements. The protest movements We can brush them all to the side and say, oh, they're all liberal, people that have wacky ideas. And, some of them do.
You
But I gotta-
probably
I was trying
could.
to think of something that's the opposite of militia. What's the opposite?
See, you're doing the
Antifa?
play left. You're doing the play left on right, play right on left thing. And the thing is, that doesn't work with someone like me who's not on either side. So your argument sucks. So try again.
Okay, counter me.
You're
So
you're not
you-
I
putting
can't
up.
counter you. You're not making a valid argument. There's no counter to it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like countering an argument with a wall. The wall's not saying anything intelligent, so you can't argue with a wall. Although,
Well,
Chris, you would
your
probably
counter-
try.
Your counter to my argument was that you're painting it with a broad brush. Is just, well, some people paint the other side with a broad brush, so it's okay for me to do that. That doesn't.
That becomes
That's a-
circular logic and is not
Yeah.
malleable. It's not viable, is what I meant to say.
Now, if I would have said something about all the protesters are a bunch of lefties, and then that would have been an all right argument. But nobody made that argument.
So I was reading your the links you sent, trying to catch up on what you were talking about, and the links for the Wikipedia links even refer to everything you're talking about. I mean, everything like
Damn it, Josh.
it's closely associated with the American right wing, and then going back to your the Boogaloo movement, it's saying it's
The what?
extreme moving.
Oh, man, dude, Chris, you got trapped. You got trapped so hard. Jody put
What
that
the-
on there as bait. And
I win!
What was the
Ridiculous,
game?
brother.
What was the game? I don't understand.
Once Jody stops laughing, he'll explain it to you.
Right.
But you took the bait, hook, line, and sinker, man.
Man, I don't think there was even a hook on that one. He just freaking took it.
No, I'm trying to read through everything that y'all have texted. I don't get to see my phone all day.
All right, man. So this was, so the reason I put those in there is because that is the stereotypical broad brush that they put all of these groups into. All of them. Okay? It's you as a doctor having your doctorate degree know that Wikipedia is not a valid form of
I disagree.
of a reference. Absolutely not.
It's widely vetted. It's not like anybody can go in and
Widely vetted. It is a community created.
that you have to have certain credentials
No, you
to
don't.
edit.
No, you
No,
don't.
you
fit.
don't.
You
No,
can
you
go in and
don't.
fix it today, but it'll get rewritten the next day or deleted.
Not
Because
necessarily.
somebody else
Yeah.
went in and changed it.
No, you're wrong.
So you can follow some of those links on there, and you're literally going to go into a hole that's not going to make any sense. Because I do that for fun sometimes. I'll go and look at some of like the way that the certain groups view other groups with a broad brush, and I'm like, hey, let me look at this link. Let me look at this link. I'm like, this does not prove their point at all. Actually, it's an empty hole that they're trying to get you to believe because there's links on there that literally take you nowhere. And the point that I'm getting with this is the reason that that's in Wikipedia is because there are people that absolutely despise these groups. Tell me, do you know what the Boogaloo movement is, Chris?
Just reading off the bat, it's just a neo-Nazi, extremist, anti-government, right? All the keywords.
Are you getting this from Wikipedia?
Yeah. From the link you sent me.
Do you don't understand?
I did
that
not
was a
send that to
trap.
you. I put it in there as a reference so that I could make the point in case Chris wasn't there to make it for us, and you did both.
You're making it sound like, oh, it's all just, incorrect information, but most of it's backed up by bona fide references. Like a lot of these people are in trouble.
Bona fide
because of
opinions.
an opinion. They've been charged with
One's a Rolling Stone article, one's Newsweek, one's NBC News, one's ABC News.
They've been charged with crimes. You can't fake that or pretend it didn't happen.
CNN. Well, getting charged with a crime and being guilty are two different things.
And being charged with a crime and being racist are two different things.
Los Angeles Times, another leftist outlet. Yeah, all these are ProPublica, a leftist outlet. Yeah, Politico.
90% of those links are for strong left-wing media outlets.
And that's because the right doesn't want to report it because they don't want to make themselves look bad. Nobody's going to read that on the side.
Here's the thing is if you go to the right-wing sites or even just the general AP stuff, they don't swing as far left or right, however you want to say it. They don't swing into this and make this stuff up. They exaggerate what's going on with these groups. So what I'm saying is have these groups been charged with crimes in the past? Yes. But let's go down that rabbit hole and say, the company that you work for, has anyone at that company been charged with a crime? I'm sure they have. So that means that whole company is trash, right?
Sure. Doesn't that happen all the time?
I'm referring to like a corporation, a company that you work for that gives you your paycheck. So now you're receiving a paycheck from a crooked company.
Like
because a couple of other guys have had
like
crimes.
your company,
So
Chris.
if I work for Enron, I'm still working for Enron? No, that whole place.
No, Chris, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. If somebody at your work gets accused of a crime, whether that be at your work or not at your work, and they continue to work there after they were found guilty, then your job employed them, so therefore your company's crooked, and you get paid by a crooked company, so that means you're crooked.
I don't think that happens. I think if you are charged with a crime, a federal crime, you could look finding a job outside of something that's an entry level, like McDonald's or something like that. Are you saying like I work at Bank A and Peter, who works in auditing, went on a rampage and killed everybody? He's charged with a federal crime, but the bank still has him employed. The bank is liable for the murders? Is that what you're trying to get at? Something?
No. Well, the point that we're making, Chris, is that you're saying that these groups are far-right extremists, that they're racist, that they are what were some of the other terms you used? That these groups are this way, okay? And they're being reported this way. But are they reported being because that single individual that happened to be a part of that group? That's the whole point of the story we're talking about, is this guy tried to be a part of this group, and they found real quick that this dude did not have his shit together, and they did not want him a part of the group. That's why these groups vet their people, is because they don't want those racist neo-Nazis. They don't want those people that are going to give the group a bad name in their groups.
Can I list off some companies that committed crimes that are still operating today? BAE Systems, BP, British Airways, General Electric, HSBC, International Paper, JP Morgan Chase, Pfizer, Procter, I think that's PG&E, I think it's Procter &
Gamble.
Procter Grant, or Gamble, yeah.
Sears Roebuck, Tyson Foods, Volkswagen, just to name a few.
How about
KBR.
Wells Fargo?
I'm gonna throw KBR in there.
So what I'm show me a group that's not a militia, or that's a militia that has a certified I guess, agenda or a constant, not, you know what I mean, like they all follow a creed, a certain agenda, that
Cocoas.
doesn't fall to the categories that you say we all broad brush in.
All right, I can name 4 off the top of my head. Can I go?
Yeah.
All right, Cocoas, 3%ers, Oath Keepers. We've got Proud Boys. All these guys, they have a specific set of values that they're following,
Hey,
and they're
Jody.
all backed by something to help with this country.
I don't know if you got this far with it, but with the Cocoas, what happens if you wear a Confederate flag on your uniform?
You're done.
You're done.
And it's funny because this is the group that allows you to wear all sorts of morale patches.
Yep.
They let you wear literally just about anything. But if it comes to, and this is the same group, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Cocoas was also the group that was wearing LGBTQ stuff for some of their events because they firmly believed in that. That's fine. That's up to them. They're a freedom of speech place. But they were wearing all these they were wearing patches to promote their point of view. Now, if you wear something that can put the group in a bad light, hence the Confederate flag or anything that denotes
Hatred.
retiring or unaliving certain people, you will be removed from the group.
And just think about this, Chris. What would happen if you went to work tomorrow with a Confederate flag on you?
Yeah, get in trouble, definitely.
Right. So it's the same thing.
I don't know. You're Mexican. You might be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
Not really. We're third class.
Not in San Antonio, you're not. I've been there.
My office is in a janitor's closet.
They always give me a broom for some reason.
Oh, that
They
was
want
a good
to say
movie.
that the head number 3 needs more toilet paper. I don't know.
And in Spanish too. I don't know why they're talking to me like that. But is that an outlier? Is your group an outlier? Because
No.
No, it's pretty much. I mean, there's small groups out there that are always going to bring a bad name to these larger groups, but these larger groups are very well organized. They have a structure. They have a clear-cut goal, and like Jody said before, like when some of them have the different patches on them for stuff that not everybody agrees with, but like I said in their lobby video, they had people out there that were protesting them, and they're like, you know what? We're going to help you protest us because that is your right as an American. So we're gonna be out here and we're gonna be representing ourselves, representing the Second Amendment, for the state of Virginia. But while we're here, your thing is you're out here protesting us, so we're gonna help you protest us. They gave him cookies, they gave him water, they talked to him, they hung out with him. And that's the whole thing, is that they're not just about themselves, they're about the country and about America becoming a better place. The place it was designed to be. Do you think, Chris,
Which is accepting for everyone. Come to our lands, earn your living, strap your laces on your boots or whatever. Man, I forgot that quote.
Lace up your boots.
But then the same people are also nationalists, and they are like, no, we're here. This is our stuff. Borders closed. We already have our values. We don't need your values.
Okay, hang on, Chris. I thought we had a breakthrough. I thought we got through all this, but we'll start over with this. Do you honestly think that people do not want foreigners in the United States?
Do you honestly want?
Do you honestly think?
I
don't know.
Do you honestly think that people do not want foreigners in the United States?
People want foreigners in the United States. Right? I'm confusing your question.
Do you think there are people out there that? Well, hang on.
Yeah, because
No,
I
that doesn't
mean,
work either.
yes, there are people that don't want foreigners in the U.S. There are people that do want foreigners in the U.S. I honestly don't care either way, but you better hold our values, or don't come here. You better hold the values of, you know, basically
Because when you're
everything
wanting to
that's
be here,
against the left.
So,
you're accepting the Constitution and the government as your own.
all right, but
And not getting
we got
free
to
handouts.
think about this in Chris's eyes here for a second. So Chris thinks that this is a baseball game, right? And you got the home team, which is the Republicans, and the away team, which is the Democrats. So Chris, do you think that the home Republicans do not want immigrants in this country?
And is the country like from left field to right field?
It's just a question, Chris. Do you think that Republicans don't want Democrats here?
I
Or,
think.
excuse me, yeah. Clearly they don't want Democrats here. Do you think they don't want immigrants here? This isn't a difficult
I think
question.
there's a majority don't want immigrants here. Illegal immigrants, excuse me.
Okay, and that's the key. I say bring every single person in the country. I want every single one of them here. I think it's great. But I want them to use the front door. I want them to come in the front door.
And I think it's
knock on the front.
I don't know.
Knock
I don't
on the
know what
front
this has to do with the militia, but all right. Well, I guess we'll just keep
Yeah.
going.
we got up down a tangent here. I think nobody wants illegal immigrants. It's the big issue is how to handle the curb illegal immigration. Like, do we do it humanely? Do we do it? We had this conversation last time.
We did.
So
That's why I
go back
didn't know
and
why.
talk with those guys.
Didn't know why we need to go back down this road again. But
All right, militias. All right, is there any other? I wanted to sidestep and talk about biker gangs. Are biker gangs considered a militia type of entity? And yes, there are good biker gangs. There are bad biker gangs, like the good ones that go stand with the abused children. You always hear them on the news. Like those are that's remarkable. They're trying to get the stigma away from what a biker gang is.
okay, so we'll take it one step further. Is a cartel good or bad?
I mean,
For who?
the difference between a gang and a militia is that gangs are involved in illegal activity.
So even the biker gang that helps the kids.
So they're technically
They're not
not
a
a gang because
They're a club.
they're a club.
Motorcycle club.
And even, I mean, if you've watched, what's that show? Terrible show on
Sons of Anarchy.
FX. Yeah, if you watched any of that, they all go by club. So, the only people that label them gangs are people on the outside, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say.
But they're not in the same realm because of.
Technically, they are gangs because if they're committing illegal activity, then they're a gang.
I'm trying to think other analogies like the triads or whatever.
Triads would be a gang. That's not like a community.
Outreach program.
That's what the Bikers Against Child Abuse thing is their outreach program, more or less.
So-
that like to ride bicycles, motorcycles.
So the level.
I forgot which
from,
biker we were talking about.
so the level from a club turning into a militia
That's not the right biker.
is
Thank you.
what?
Between a
Um,
biker group
Club,
and a militia.
no, just generalities. Club to a militia. Is it because of the guns?
Nope.
No, because you
Have gun clubs.
I honestly, I don't know. Like, if I was to go out and go round up all my neighbors and be like, hey, let's go to the range and do some training, I mean, could you consider us a militia? I don't know.
Well,
So here's the thing: outside people looking in might be able to say, "Hey, look at this! It's a militia." Like,
Yeah.
no, we're
There's
just
no
a bunch of
structure
dudes that
there.
Try to train
unless
for our own thing.
unless Jamie, you're the general, and then you've given the rank of your neighbor down in the cul-de-sac. He's the captain.
Yeah.
And then the guy that lives by the
So
pool
then
is
you're
the
looking at
lieutenant.
Yeah, it'd be organized from the
Nice.
top down.
Right.
Okay. So that would be a militia.
Okay.
Now,
Whereas if I was just to round everybody up and go to the range and do training and like nobody's over anybody, then yeah, it'd just be I guess a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that group that does all the fun stuff? Are they a militia or a group
They're militia.
or a club? What do you,
Yeah, I guess technically they're a militia because they have a leader. They have
They have a rank
a
system.
second in command. Yeah, they have a rank and file.
okay.
Oh, and of course you have to be racist to be in a militia. So there's
Right,
that as well.
right, and
Of
right.
course.
Right. You ever see the beginning of what's that the movie with Seth Rogen where he goes into the neo-Nazi group and they make him say all sorts of racist stuff to make sure he's racist against Jews, but he is a Jew? You have to do that too.
What movie was that?
Gosh, it's the one where he dates the chick that's running for president.
Yeah, the movie is called Racist Jews. No, I can't back that up.
Maybe to Seth Rogen, it probably would be something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's called Long Shot.
But okay.
Okay.
But the point we're trying to make is these guys are trying to improve themselves and trying to improve their skill sets. They're trying to build a community. They're trying to build a network so that when the inevitable happens, that they have something to fall back on. That's essentially what these groups are. And then a lot of them are 2A groups or Second Amendment groups. And they are huge advocates for making sure that our Second Amendment rights are followed as per the way the Constitution lays them out.
I just can't help thinking of the way the post-apocalyptic shows happen, where they have these groups or militias that own a piece of land that stop the zombies from coming in, and they may be good, they may be bad. They may be raiders. They may be a refugee area. That these groups will ultimately be when it comes down to it, the third, fourth line of defense. That's what they're going to evolve into.
Okay, so in this situation, let's look at it this
So,
way.
I mean, you're talking hypotheticals with no, I don't know.
I'm just thinking the way.
Because he said, are they good or are they bad? What defines them as good or bad? Are they bad because they don't let outsiders in? Does that make them bad?
If they inflict harm on other people, that's bad.
So
Very
you
good,
don't
Chris.
inflict
Very
harm
good.
and you let them just ransack your shit and go.
No, of course not.
That's
I'm
the
getting
point that we're trying to make.
I'm getting hail over here, so I might lose signal and power.
You'll be fine.
All right. So if I go away, I'm sorry.
We'll call you what you are.
I'm just a counterpoint. That's all.
No, that's fine because it's funny because I put those articles in there, Chris, because I was going to bring up the view of a certain group of people towards these groups because I was like, hey, let me see what it says about these. And I was like, it's funny because I spent all day on Wikipedia going through all this stuff. And I was like, it literally leads you down a road to nowhere for these articles on these groups specifically. And some Wikipedias, they'll take you down a decent rabbit hole to learn more about what's going on and may offer some valid points. However, when you go down the Boogaloo, you go down the Kakoas, you go down the Proud Boys, it's all negative. It's all opinion-based. These are all opinion-based articles, all of them.
So I'll caveat with my Wikipedia experience right here. Most of my Wikipedia is like scientific-based facts where you can't really BS a lot of the things. You know what I mean? Like, I go to Wikipedia, I want to learn about the Nyquist number, whatever. So for radars, and I'm not going to get BS, negative or positive. I'm going to get facts. So
Yeah,
Right.
if I go in there looking for stuff on the electromagnetic spectrum, there's not going to be left or right spin on there. But when you're talking about more nuanced topics, yeah, you're gonna get the left.
I haven't.
Right, left spin, really.
I'll give. So you could be right because I don't on that in that realm. You know, I don't know.
So when I went to college, the biggest thing they said was do not rely on the Wikipedia article itself. Look at the links, look at the references. And then you go down to the references, and if you see a journal published by a college, by a some kind of factual-based group that is not a .com, that is not a .org, it needs to be a .edu, a .mil. I'm trying to remember all the references that you're supposed to be. If it's not a journal that's published and reviewed by peers, essentially those are non-credible references. And in this case, every single one of those on that was an opinion-based organization that wrote their opinion on these groups. So
Your mom's in college. Dang it.
Yeah,
You did. Yeah,
I should have let you have that one.
I got you.
That's where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying.
You smell we're stepping in?
It's one of those things where my professors never let me use Wikipedia as a standalone reference. I had to back my Wikipedia articles with some kind of solid information-based reference. That's just a part of it, man. So, what identifies a boogaloo, Chris?
You didn't send me that link. I didn't know how to spell it. I didn't know how to spell it.
The boogs.
Is that why we're wearing Hawaiian shirts, Jody?
Oh yeah, okay. You sent me that one. It's the other one you didn't send me. The Boogly Boys, the far right anti-government extremist movement in the United States, the militia, prepping for or seeking to incite a second American Civil War or second American Revolution, which they call the Boogaloo or the Boog.
Are we just going to let them read the whole article, or what's going on?
No.
Yeah,
So they are so in the public eye, they are identified by wearing fatigues and Hawaiian shirts.
I thought we were wearing Hawaiian shirts because the guy said he was CIA.
We can do that too. I mean, either way. But in my line of work, Hawaiian shirts typically like to designate that it's a fun Friday.
That's fair.
Yep.
Man, I hope my new job, we have fun Fridays. I kind of like the shirt.
Oh, where are you working? I didn't get the memo.
I got the job at D&M Leasing.
Hell yeah. We're
Yeah.
about to get some Baller vehicles now.
They actually lease everything. Everything.
No, just the Baller ones. That's all they're allowed to lease.
Jamie, you got anything else to add on this, or have we publicly beat Chris good enough yet?
I mean, yeah.
I think he took his lashings today, and I think you took them well.
You took them well, buddy.
Thank
Man,
you.
what a trap. What a trap. Good job, Joey.
I was trying to catch up.
I honestly thought that I was gonna. Was that your power?
Yeah, it's about to.
That's funny.
I'm a,
Or do you,
He's gone.
No, can I kick him?
I honestly thought I was going to have to brief him on those and have him argue those. He fell right into it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I was kind of excited for that one.
Well,
man, that's crazy. So, I think that kind of explains his logic with everything. Is he'll read something and just take it as fact because it's.
I don't see how you went to college and didn't learn that aspect of it because I know, and
who's teaching college though, Jody?
Huh?
Who's teaching college?
No, but the point I'm getting at is the references part.
I get that part.
And I was trying to placate towards him being from the left and not following his own methodology for coming up with facts based in a argument or a conversation.
Gotcha. Man, I think we're just gonna push this thing through live. I mean, our crowd's a little thin, so we could probably push this whole thing through live. And then,
Yeah, might as well. Hey, real quick, man. I don't think you're recording on Squadcast.
oh my god, you're right.
I realized that about halfway through one of my rants, and I was like, oh, well, good news is I was recording on OBS, so you're still going to have some of this.
Oh my gosh, that just made me sick to my stomach. I mean, I think technically I am too, but all right. Well, I hit the record button now, so we'll go from here on. But thank you for recording
Sorry
from.
about that.
Well, the thing was, I was trying to hit the record button earlier, and Chris wasn't secured, and I should have just hit it. Gosh darn it. Anyway, my bad, guys.
It's all good.
So let's wait for him to get back on. We'll start all over again.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. No, we'll be fine. Let's just push through the rest
We
of
want
the
to lighten it up and go to some power rankings.
Yeah, let's do some power rankings here. I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun with the Morgan Wallen thing as well. But let's just talk about power rankings real quick. So, let me bring that up so I have access to it. What was it he shared with us in the group? Oh, that was the thing I asked about, huh?
Yep. The YouTube video about George Washington, I think.
Yeah. What'd y'all think of the eclipse yesterday? That's kind of cool.
We got a decent coverage, like a lot better than what I thought here. I don't know about Jamie. We saw probably close to 75% coverage. It got dark, darkish. I mean, not solar lights coming on and all that, but to the point where I was like, when it first started, I was like, I don't need my sunglasses, and we had very few clouds in the sky.
Gotcha.
It was cloudy here, and we might have had 40-50%. So you could see it on the lens reflection because I set my camera outside and did a time lapse. And I mean, the coolest part of that was probably the clouds moving through the sky.
That's cool. I don't know if you guys saw the live stream that I did, but
Yeah, I saw it. I was kind of chiming in.
yeah, I kind of watched it through the camera just to kind of see what they were seeing. I tried to put like one of the glasses up over it to see if I can get a better like view, but I should have just ordered the one for the phone or whatever. So, all right, Jody. I guess the way let's do the power rankings is go through the top 10 just continuously, and so we can use that as a short, and then
Okay.
Then we'll come back through and we'll talk about the whole thing as a whole.
I got you.
And
All
you
right,
guys
so-
okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, no, you're good.
Nothing.
All right, so MLB published their power rankings for the week, and I'm gonna say flat out, I don't know who's writing these articles. Actually, I do know, and this is the same guy that we were all over last year.
The guy lives in
Right,
L.A.
right about
most
the
likely, or New York.
What's that?
The guy lives in either L.A. or New York.
Yeah, he was constantly putting down the Rangers all year, and to be fair, we had our doubts at times, but for the most part, it's like, no, these guys are more solid than any team that's out there, even with the injuries that they had. They were still a solid team. Yes, they had a terrible time right after the All-Star break, but the fact that they overcame that and still stayed where they were after losing out of first place. So let's go with this. All right. So number one is the Dodgers, is what they ranked as number one for their power rankings. Number two was the Braves. I agree with that one. Number three is the Yankees. Number four, all the way down here at number four, which was previously 5, is the Rangers. 5, they have the Baltimore Orioles. Number 6 are the Phillies. They've dropped a couple spots. Number 7 was the Tigers from Detroit. They were previously number 20. That was an interesting pick. Number 8 was the Astros, previously number 6, so they dropped down. I'm assuming that has something to do with the series opener with the Rangers. Number 9 is the Cubs. They were previously number 12. And number 10 is the Guardians, previously number 21. Jamie, have you had a chance to kind of go through and analyze any of these?
Oh, listen, the Dodgers and a few teams. What's up?
Just start over, Jamie, because it cut
out real
there was
bad.
a struggle there for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've watched a few games. The Dodgers aren't I don't know. First of all, nothing.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
The Dodgers, I don't think they're as strong as what they paid for, but it's the first 10 games. I think doing power rankings after, 10 games is ridiculous because
Right.
the Rangers had they went something ridiculous, like 3-17 in 20 games in September, and we're talking about doing power rankings on a 10 game clip of the 162 game season. I don't know. It just feels ridiculous. If you're going to do power rankings, wait until at least 20 games have gone through. Then at least you have an idea.
I don't disagree with you, Jamie. I think that I kind of like the power ranking this early so that way you can see who MLB's being fanboys to. Because that's exactly what you're getting. Is who they're being fanboys to. And the reason I say this is because let's look at the rankings as of right now, right? Let's look at the AL East, right? So you got Yankees on top, 10 wins, 2 losses. I don't think they played anybody yet. They beat the Astros. They beat the crap out of the Astros. But I don't know if the Astros are who everybody thinks they are. They don't have half the team.
Not.
They don't have half the team that they had when they won the World Series. They don't have. They have Altuve. They got Bregman. That's. Okay, it's not popular here in Texas. I get it. So the Yankees are 10-2. Their record looks good. Okay, whatever. Then you got Boston at 7-4. Baltimore at 6-4. Toronto 6-6, Tampa Bay at 5-6, right? AL Central, you got Cleveland at 8-3, Detroit at 7-4, KC 7-4, Minnesota 3-6, and then the Chicago White Sox 2-9. AL West. You got the Angels 6-4, Rangers 6-5, Oakland 4-7. Good old Houston's at 4-8. Seattle's at 4-8. Right. National League, Atlanta's at 7-3. Philadelphia's at 5-6. Washington's at 4-6. Mets are at 4-7. Miami is dismal at 1-11. Pirates 9-3. Brewers are 7-3. Cubs are 6-4. Reds are 6-5. The Cardinals are 6-6. National League West. Remember, they've got more games for the Dodgers and the Padres than anybody else because they played like halfway through the spring training. So Dodgers are 10-4. Padres are 6-7. Arizona's 4-7. Giants are 4-7, and then Colorado's 3-8. I mean that's what they've actually done as of right now. I think that these power rankings, if you ask me, the Dodgers spend a lot of money. Yes, they've won the most amount of games. I do not think they're the best team in baseball. I think the Braves are a better team right now than the Dodgers are. They're number 2, right? Yankees.
Yeah. Well, and let's also take a look real quick at who the Dodgers have played to get to this point. I'm looking at their schedule right now. Really? That's what we're going to put them at the number 1 power ranking spot over? I mean, you got Minnesota, you've got the Cubs, you've got the Giants, and you've got St. Louis, and you've got the Angels.
And then, and then the Padres for that 2-game series. And
you're right. You're right.
Korea.
Yeah. Was that a 2-game series, Jamie, or 3?
2.
Gotcha. Okay. They've got the Yankees as third. I think they've got really the best record in baseball. But so they they swept a struggling Astros. I don't know that, I mean, I think the Astros kind of woke up a little bit about halfway through the series against the Rangers, so we'll see who they really are. But I think the Rangers even still had their way with them. And I think if it was a really necessary series, I think the Rangers could have swept them.
Yeah.
So honestly, then you got the Rangers next. I think it goes Braves, Rangers in my power.
Rangers lost to Oakland today, so I don't think they need to be top 5 when you lose to Oakland. I think they beat themselves. So there's 2 types of losses in my world. You beat yourself, or you just got outplayed. Those are the 2. You beat yourself, or you just got outplayed. And a lot of the Rangers' losses is they beat because the pitching just made mistakes on the back end or on the front end. With the Yankees, you didn't finish that. They beat the Blue Jays. They took 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks, who I don't think are the same team.
Right.
And then they beat the Marlins twice.
The Marlins. The 1-11 Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Oh.
Then you have the Orioles. I'm kind of on the fence against the Orioles because at first I was like, right? But I kind of got to watch the Orioles play a little bit today, and they're not as bad as I thought they were. Part of that's because they beat the Red Sox today. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they should be a top 5 team. I don't know. Phillies, I still don't know that they've proved anything yet. Who have the Phillies played yet?
Phillies have played St. Louis, Washington, Cincinnati, and Atlanta.
Okay. What did they beat? Did they beat Atlanta?
Lost, won. So they were.
A 4-game series.
It was a 4-game series, but one of them, I guess, didn't. Maybe it got rained out or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they had 2 losses and a win against Atlanta.
So the Tigers are what really catch me here.
Yeah.
The Tigers in the last 20 years have been one of the most impressive first half teams in Major League Baseball in the last 20 years. But one of the most awful teams in the second half of every season in the last 20 years.
Okay.
So the fact that they have them moving from 20th to 7th in 1 week, I'm a little skeptical.
Well, they lost to Oakland twice.
Point taken. My question is, number 8 is the Astros. Astros are 4-8. How are the Astros ranked 8th in the power rankings? Who have they powered over? I mean, I'll be honest. Their shit talking has been pretty powerful. But
yeah, I think that's a bad call. And the guy that wrote the article and did the power rankings is a fiction writer, so he made up his own story.
You know what? We're talking all about this, and it's a fiction. It's a work of fiction. But number 9's the Cubs, and the Rangers made sure the Cubs weren't taken seriously this year.
I think what's going to give the Rangers any kind of credibility is the series against Atlanta.
Now here's what I actually read into the Cubs little section here. They did beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. So that was over the weekend.
Yeah, I still think it's early to be calling some of these.
I agree.
Because, I mean, the Rangers, the last, 2-3 games?
They've lost 3 in a row.
They've lost 3 in a row, but they've also lost 3 players in the last week.
So who all have they lost?
They lost, dadgummit, put me on the spot.
Josh Young.
Yeah, they lost Josh Young. That was the game that I was at. They put they had a
Foscue and Wenzel. Oh, so all their new guys.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Foscue got hurt. Young got hurt. Forbes got hurt. Yeah. So one of their main bullpen pitchers got hurt. And then they had Foscue, who really hadn't done much, but Young and Spores is a big blow.
They're going to be the big ones for at least the first part of the season.
Which I don't even think the Rangers are really too worried because the cavalry comes in about halfway through the season, and
they'll be well rested.
I think that after the All-Star break is when we're really going to see what the Rangers can do.
When's Josh getting back?
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 45 days is what I saw, but yeah.
So he'll get back for the dog days.
They went through, and during the surgery, they found that it was more damage than possible because I think the original timeline was like 4 to 5 weeks, and now it's closer to 8 weeks due to the damage.
Gotcha.
Which is, I mean, that's 2 months, so whatever. He'll be back in June.
He'll be able to start off the dog days, so that'll be good. June to August is a rough time, so he'll come back in nice and rested. What else did you guys see on this thing that kind of stood out?
I like seeing the Orioles moved up. Let me go back to it. Dodgers I didn't care about. The Braves I like seeing on there.
Pirates got robbed. Pirates got
Yep.
robbed. They should have been higher, I think.
I can see that. Did you guys look at the bottom? I just happened to notice that the bottom, the Marlins are 1-11 and they're still not the worst team. The White Sox, the Rockies, and the A's all have worse rankings according to this.
I think the Red Sox are still ranked too high.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
With a better record than the Rangers, I bet you do.
It's all right. No, I'm excited though. I got my tickets to the Atlanta game.
On the 20th? What day is that? I didn't even look.
Not the 20th. I think I said the 20th. I believe it's the 21st. It's the Sunday.
It's a Sunday game?
21st. Yeah, it's a Sunday game.
May 21st?
April.
April 21st. Okay.
In Atlanta. Yep.
All right.
So I need you guys to step up and get some ballparks under your belt.
Well, I'll drive out to Arlington tomorrow. Actually, I am going to TX Whiskey tomorrow. Their distillery.
All right.
So while you're working on stadiums, I'm working on distilleries. Hey, I did want to bring up something that I thought was pretty cool. So just like they have the power rankings, that's a little premature, but it's kind of good to kind of get a feel for where we're at. They also send out the Rookie of the Year rankings. Where all the National League is pretty much the imports from Asia that are running the National League. But the front runner right now in the Rookie of the Year is a Ranger. You want to guess who it is?
Carter?
It is Carter. I figured you'd go with young buck. Was it Langford?
Langford really hadn't done much. Carter's done.
Yeah. So
Done pretty good.
Carter's ranked first. Langford's ranked second. And the crazy thing is somebody who is a relative of a former baseball player is ranked third. Do you know who the third ranked person is? Jackson Holliday.
I don't. Holiday. All right.
So Jackson Holliday is the son of
Matt.
was it Matt Holliday?
I think it's Matt Holiday.
I did all this research earlier. Yeah, and then I did all the research earlier, and then
You're talking about the Yankee, right? Is who you're
he
thinking
was
of?
a Yankee. He was a lot of different.
He played for St. Louis, played for the Yankees.
This is where he was more notable, wasn't it?
Where?
With the card.
Cardinals.
Matt Holliday.
Yep.
Um,
So, do you remember where he's from?
he's from Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yep.
And actually, Matt Holliday moved back to Stillwater so that Jackson could play for Stillwater. And then Jackson went to University of or Oklahoma State, I believe, for one season. And it's funny because in the Wikipedia post for Jackson Holiday, his breakout moment is against which high school? Not his. I say breakout moment. The only high school game they reference on Wikipedia is against which high school?
I don't know.
It's against Union High School.
I figured it was going to be that route. It was either going to be Union or Jinx.
Yeah. So during a game against Union High School, he hit 3 home runs. In another game, didn't mention that high school, did they? He hit 2 home runs in 1 inning.
I'm guessing that's Jinx.
Yeah, we'll just say it's Jinx. This probably is Jinx. So, but yeah, I mean,
Or Barry Hill.
Barry Hill. Yeah.
I want to know who was pitching during those games, because that's probably part of it too.
Possibly. So yeah. So that's
Could have been you, Jody. Could have been you.
It was not me.
Well,
I guarantee it was not me.
considering
No, I'm
that
saying
it's
it's
Jackson,
pitcher.
hey, considering Jackson was born in 2003, I think Jody's in the clear there.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Matt still. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought we were talking
No,
about
Matt actually graduated in '98.
98 or 99?
I think it was '98. Do you have something
98,
different?
you're right, because he entered the draft in 98.
Yep. So that's funny. That he entered the draft in '98 and went. I don't know. I thought Matt Holliday played for Oklahoma State. Did he not? Guess maybe not.
But I didn't see anything about his
no,
collegiate.
No,
He went straight in. Yeah, he went straight in from high school. Yeah. Sure enough. Gosh, what a great baseball player. I love Matt Holliday. Even though he was never a Red Sox, I love Matt Holliday. He was drafted by the Rockies. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else on baseball this week?
No. Nothing on my end.
Jamie, have you
I
got any
haven't heard
ideas
too
of
much
what?
about the Ohtani thing.
What about it?
I haven't heard anything, so I'm wondering if it got buried.
Starting to feel like it, right? I bet you Ohtani would bet you on that.
That he would. I
Um,
forgot. I did read something like they were trying to blame somebody else for it.
of course they were.
The Angels. Oh yeah, because the Angels announcer, they talked about it. Man. So apparently, one of the young guys on the Angels was on a hitting streak, and Major League Baseball went back and ruled it one of his hits that was part of his hitting streak to be an error.
Mm.
And so the Angels announcers blew up about it. And they were like, you're embattled, your star player is embroiled in a gambling scandal. You've got all these pitchers getting injured, which that's another thing. What do you guys think about all these pitching injuries that are happening? I've heard a lot of blame placed on the pitch clock.
I can kind of see that, but I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to hold enough water. Yeah, because usually in a pitcher's mind, they're trying to recollect their thoughts, trying to reevaluate the situation, trying to now update their strategy based on the last pitch they threw. And now they've got to fire back, what is it, like 19 seconds or something? It's quick.
So, Jody, you were a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
So my pitching career was very, very short, and so my thought on this is pretty much invalid. But when you catch the ball back from the catcher, What goes through your mind from the time that ball hits the glove, from the time that you reset and pitch the ball?
I know in my mind it was like, okay, that ball was in the wrong spot. That's not where I was intending. That was not where I was at the zone I was intended for. The pitch didn't break the way that I wanted it to. All right, so now I've got to really focus on this without telegraphing it. Okay, so now that I'm under on this count, now I've got to figure out how to get back on top without getting one smacked out of the park.
So, did you ever have Uncle Bob teach you how to pitch?
Yes.
Do you remember what he said as soon as the ball hits the glove, what he said to do?
I don't remember.
So in my mind, I had to think about this when they started the pitch clock, because I remember he said once that ball hits the glove, you have to reset yourself as a pitcher. And you have to go back through and say, okay, like you said, evaluate the last pitch. Where did it go? Where were you on the rubber? Like, you reset yourself as a pitcher.
Yep.
And you have to go back through, and it's like, and again, I've never flown a plane, but I imagine it's kind of like a pre-takeoff checklist, right? Okay, balls in the glove, hands in the glove, step on the rubber. And okay, am I going to come out of the stretch? Am I going to go out of the windup? Then you kind of position yourself at that point, right? And then you go through.
Kind of. Yeah. So kind of. So you are. Hey, I was a little far inside. Do I need to scoot over on the rubber? Maybe a little bit. But stretch, wind up, that should already be be synced based on what's already happened previously.
Right, don't you have like a checklist of like, okay, fundamentals of what you're gonna do?
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
fundamentals.
We would like to say that's the route we go, but sometimes it's criticism. I know for me, I'm an overthinker, so I overthink everything, and I'm like, I know I need to go an inch to the right on the rubber, and I need to make sure that my foot ends up in this spot, and I need to make sure that I'm snapping my wrist. I need to make sure I'm doing this. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. So do you think that hurts or helps a major league pitcher? Obviously, a lot of the stuff...
it sucks.
Well, a lot of the stuff that we would think about should be muscle memory by the time you're a pro pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what we were developing was muscle memory, but you would assume that a pro pitcher, that's all muscle memory, and so they wouldn't have to worry about that.
I would still say they analyze where their pitches went and what went wrong, as opposed to even at that point, because they are their own worst enemy. They're in their head, So think about this: when you're doing something, anything, and you're like, "Hey, I've got X amount of time to do this," and it doesn't seem like enough time. Not gonna lie, you're gonna rush it a little bit, and when you rush it, that's when mistakes happen.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's kind of go this route. Jamie, are you for or against the pitch clock?
I'm for it, and I think that the main issue with these arm injuries is more the balls than the pitch clock.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was watching a major league pitcher from the Rays, I believe. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he's talking about the grip on the ball, and when you have a decent grip on the ball, you can have it more at your fingertips. But if they're shiny new balls, you got to choke that thing all the way in the back of your hand, and then to get the release you want, you're whipping it. And so if you're trying to do a curve and the ball's choked in the back of your hand, you're not going to get the movement you want unless you get your elbow and your wrist more involved.
I gotcha. That makes sense. Jody, what do you think about the pitch clock?
I think the pitch clock is a good thing. Do I think 20 seconds is fair? I don't know. I've never been a professional player, but to me, if I was playing high school ball, I think 20 seconds would be a tight to reset yourself and throw a pitch. But I also see where James is coming out with these balls because in the major leagues, they're getting a new ball almost every pitch or every few pitches at least.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, and there's guys, and he was talking about it, how there were guys that would put on some extra sunscreen, they would and then mix some dirt in there, and then essentially that would stick to the ball, give him some grip. And then obviously with the Trevor Bauer fiasco, and he got caught with something on his hands, so now they're checking hands constantly.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of ruined that. So I think really what needs to be looked at is the numbers from when they started checking hands to now.
Makes sense. I'm personally a fan of the pitch clock. Was a little bit worried about it. I think there are a few rules that they have regarding holding on a base runner that I don't particularly care about, but obviously that's not what this conversation's about. But I also think that the pitch clock speeds up the game, which again, originally I was against. I'm a purist. I like baseball and its rawness, but I do think that a faster game is not going to hurt anybody, maybe except for the pitchers. But
it's definitely hurting the people buying beers at the game.
That's true. That's true.
Because how many times? Well, since they've instituted this, it seems like the 7th inning or the 8th inning is already there, and they stop selling beers, and they're calling last call, and you're like, oh, whoa!
It definitely does throw my timing off a little bit because I have a rhythm that I follow when I'm drinking beer at a game, depending on how easy it is to get the beer. But it does kind of throw my rhythm off a little bit as far as what I'm drinking. There's one other thing I want to talk about baseball, but
the game we went to with for Jody when he got back from deployment, we were right by the beer lady, so that was great. We just turn around, go get him, and come back down.
That was fantastic.
When I went and sat in the Lexus Club area there, the guy had my literally had my rhythm down to where he'd be popping up right as I was taking that last sip. And he goes, "You ready?" I'm like, "That's kind of creepy, dog." But
so did he have you or did you have him in your clocks?
In the what?
In your clocks. I think you were on his clock. He wasn't on yours.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I had him timed.
It's like when you sync up tea schedules with somebody from work. Are they syncing up with you, or are you syncing up with them?
Yeah.
Are we meshing?
That's funny. So Jody, you're gonna be in Atlanta. Jamie, what's kind of your goal for your first game this year?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go to a new stadium or go to Colorado. I really wish the A's would have moved to Las Vegas. That would have been a good
Been no brainer, right?
Drive, or 30 minute to 45-minute flight. But yeah, I don't have plans currently. That'd be nice if I could get a flight and go out to Atlanta in 11 days.
Well, they've officially closed down the Tropicana, so they're ready to knock it over. So, all right. Well, let's. Anybody got anything else baseball related? I fucking love talking about baseball, so we can talk about baseball all night.
No. Do you want to go ahead and cut it off live, or what do you want to do?
Just keep it going. I mean,
Let it run. Okay.
yeah. I mean, we.
Are y'all still wanting to do Miami together?
Miami would be cool. I think Miami would be a cool stadium anyway, so we can figure that one out.
Because after the Atlanta game, most of them are going to be. I'm going to have to legit travel.
Yeah.
Miami's the only other one close by that I could probably hit, like for a weekend type thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to work and figure out what the schedule's going to be like, so I can figure out what, like if I could travel on Saturdays and meet you places, meet y'all places. That'd be cool. But as soon as I figure out what the schedule's like, I'm gonna start trying to plan some stadiums. Should be a good time. Yeah, not worried about that. All right, so Jamie, do you really not know who Morgan Wallen is, or are you just being kind of goofy?
No, I don't know who Morgan Wallen is.
So he's like one of the top performers right now. He's a country music musician, and if I played some of the songs for you, which we can't obviously for copyright purposes, but you probably heard at least one of the songs. He's the gentleman that has been in trouble a couple times before. One time he got in trouble was because he said the N-word while walking in front of somebody's ring cam caught him saying it. And so all the radios took him off, his label, like put him on probation or whatever. And well, so on Saturday night, he was at Eric Church's brand new bar, which, see here, do have something for that.
No, is he the dude that threw the chair?
Yes. So I'm part
Okay.
owner of the bar, so
Did you own the chair that got tossed? That's my only question.
I own a brick. I don't own the chairs. I own the brick.
No.
So yeah, he threw a chair.
Did you hear? They're tearing the bar down and they're throwing the bricks in the dumpster.
they're doing San Francisco's thing where they're just
doing a
getting.
digital kiosk.
Yeah, they don't have a deed. I do. So he throws a chair off of the, I guess, 5th floor of this bar, and it lands within 3 feet of police officers. So he's being charged with, like, endangering police officers and this, that, and the other. Actually, so we don't get, like, told by, somebody who's just passing through. I'll read you exactly what he was charged with, so that way we're on the up and up here. So video captured by EarthCam recorded the alleged incident. Metro police officer have been charged on X. Reckless endangerment and 1 count of disorderly conduct, which I think we've all got that 1 count of disorderly conduct under our belt, don't we? So he throws this chair off the 5th floor of this building, lands 3 feet away from police officers, obviously wasn't intended to hit a police officer. They go upstairs, they arrest him, they take him to jail. He posts bail, 15 grand, gets out, goes about his time. They're talking about serious jail time because he threw a chair at police officers. So my first thought on this whole thing was, this is another star, musician, person with money who's just being stupid and throws a chair, gets arrested, this, that, and the other. Right?
Quite literally partying like a rock star.
Right. Well, so I got at the shovel, started digging into this to figure out more or less what the story was to why he did what he did, right? So then the next layer of this thing is the reason why he threw the chair is because he got upset because he found out his ex-fiance had eloped. Which I would venture to say we've all had that one that got away on us type of thing. You've all been frustrated about it. May not have thrown a chair.
Off a rooftop? No.
No, right?
No, we just threw her off a rooftop. Why?
Then,
Right, guys? We've all done it, right? We've all got that one that we just threw off the roof.
then I dug a little bit more and realized that this chick and Morgan Wallen have a son together. And part of the thing is that there was some sort of clause that was put into their arrangements as co-parents, or however you want to look at it, that had something to do with not visitations, but like on when you can move in, when you can get married, all that type of stuff with another party. So I understand. I mean, I have never been through any of that, but I can understand where that could frustrate you to a certain degree, to where you might react in a way similar to this. Obviously, I mean, maybe he didn't quite intend to throw the chair over the balcony or whatever. Who knows? Maybe a camera, but who knows? But I can understand where maybe the frustration might have mounted. What do you think, Jody?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When anything like that happens, emotions run high. You're in the situation. Drinks or no drinks, being involved. I mean, it could happen to, anybody just finding out about something on the spot. But you're still accountable for your actions, no matter what circumstance you're in.
And that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Jamie, what do you think about the whole thing?
I don't know, man. It's easy to hindsight's always 20/20. Like, I was being in that position and being of, his level of celebrity, I would say it would have been better if one of his, because I'm sure he had people with him. Obviously, they're not really close friends, because like a close friend would have been like, all right, let's head out. Let's go back to the hotel or go back to the house. We'll chill. We'll talk about it there. Like, let's get this guy out of here. Bring the car around. We got to go.
And let's remember, this guy's 30 years old. And I mean, at 30, we probably have all done things that we're not proud of. Now, here's where, for me, the twist became a little bit more or less. So, apparently, his baby mama, we'll call her that for argument's sake, is not the most trustworthy person when it comes to relationships. Her name is Katie Smith. I don't know if anybody knows who Katie Smith is. I didn't know who she was.
That name sounds familiar.
Apparently she's some Instagram personality or whatever.
Well, there's his problem right there.
Exactly my point. I'm a fan of Morgan Wallen. I like Morgan Wallen's music. But it seems to me like he fell into the age-old time of you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And I'm not saying all Instagram models are. I'm not saying any of that stuff. But looking into her past, looking into her situation, it sounds like that is the problem. So,
Boats and hoes, man. Boats and hoes.
They're both money pits.
Yeah, they are. So, my thought process here is Morgan Wallen has a tour coming up. A very, very lucrative tour coming up. Last thing this guy needs to do is get thrown in jail or prison over some BS, over some woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, his record label is going to have attorneys on retainer, ready to go, ready to protect the investment, and essentially they're going to go in and get it knocked down to like community service, and he'll probably play a concert for AIDS or something.
Fair enough.
Because everyone has AIDS.
AIDS.
Oh, freaking love that movie, man. I guess it's gonna have to be brought back into this episode. Matter of fact, that song specifically. So, thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jody. You guys have anything you want to add to the episode, or you guys want to keep going, or you guys done?
I gotta get going tonight.
Apparently now I have 2 sick kids again, and so I gotta go sleep in their room and eventually catch what they have. So.
Yeah, if you want to cut it off YouTube, we can talk for a second. But
okay, let me run the outro real quick. Thanks, guys, for watching.
kick the freeloaders off.
Please come back, like and subscribe.